Okay, off rip, I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a sadder video, cause, well, I I wanted it to be. And while I was making the script for this video, yes, I did write a script for this video. You know, I was wondering, should I make this sad, or should I make this just a revenge type story? And I decided to make it a sad and revenge. So without a further ado, let's get into it. Okay, now first off, Izuku would be a hero, but he would not have a hero's license, and he would go by the name of Bluebird. The reason why he went by the name Bluebird was because he wore a blue suit. Also, he would only use weapons that could not kill anyone. But unfortunately for him, one day he was trying to track a villain named Stain, which we all know. But it had turned out bad for him because it had turned out to be a trap by Stain, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri and Shigaraki. Now, Stain was the worst of them. Stain would pronounce him as a fake hero, since he would not he did want to help people, but he also wanted to be likable. He wanted to be a likable hero. So Stain would call him a fake hero and then proceed to torture him, stabbing him 19 times, over and over and over and over, licking his blade, basically paralyzing him, then turning it off, while Kirigiri at the same time was constantly teleporting him. Also, at the same time, Shigaraki started to decay his body, putting him through pain that almost nobody has ever felt. Now, they did this for hours to Izuku. Izuku would normally have luck, but this time they didn't stop until they knew he was dead. Now, after they had pronounced him dead, he was found inside of a factory. And as he was found inside the factory, he was buried, of course. He gets up. Well, slow down. Slow down. Okay. So first off, the first thing that happens as soon as he dies is the last thing that he had wished for before he died was, of course, to live. He wanted to live. He wanted to survive. He wanted something. As he died, he then saw on the news that a shooting star was coming. He then wished on it, dying inside the hands of Stain. Now, after he was buried, a asteroid that will crashed into the burial site that his body was buried in. Now we're gonna call this what was in this asteroid Ancient Uru. Now this Ancient Uru would wake him up. He would then dig himself out of the dirt and the grass, trying to gasp for air, trying to survive. As he did this would scare a lot of people, because they just saw someone that has been dead for at least 5 months raise from the dead and crawl out of their coffin. Now, first off, here's the thing that The Rock did to him. Now, this would this would make him more insane. But this insanity could sometimes work for his benefit. The reason why was because the insanity that he had would make him 10 times stronger than a normal human. This ancient Uru didn't only revive him, it gave him special powers. Now, because of this insanity, this will give him mixed personalities like Deadpool. But instead of agreeing with these mixed personalities, they stayed inside the underworld. The underworld is basically an apocalyptic. Dang it! It's basically an apocalypse inside of his mind, where every single little flaw and just all around bit of anger is in there. Now, this will give him a minor regen power at the same time. This ancient Uru. It would also give him the power to self revive himself. But the thing about the self revive is it didn't really help him much. No, actually, it didn't help him. It didn't help him at all. Sorry for the stuttering. The reason that it didn't help him was because he might have been able to come back, but this would increase his sanity level. He was all he was already to the point where he would kill anyone without a second thought. At least anyone overaged. He wouldn't even need a reason. Now, where was I? Okay. So after he would rise scaring everyone from the burial site, he would start walking back home. But on his way back home, he then saw a newspaper saying that it was May. He then says, "What? That's that's 5 months from when I died." He knew he died, of course, because of the burial site. Now, he said there's no way I could have survived a 5 month death. No food, no water. A human can only survive off of food. Well, no food for a month. But no food and no water? That would only give me a week. Now, inside of this one, he keeps on walking, and his house will be near the woods. Now, he would be walking and walking and walking. He then he then kept on walking, and he saw his house. The sign said for sale. He then said, "Did she move out?" A man then came up to him, and the man then said, "Do you know what happened to your kid?" He then shakes his head. Now the man looks shorter than him, but he can tell that the man's 5'7" to 5'8", which this is about normal human height. Tall, but normal. Well, no, actually normal for an average man. But he had noticed that he would be shorter. I think it's the actual anime. He was like 5'5" or 5'4", so he was extremely small. That's not my point though. After he had noticed this, the man then said, after her son died, she then went inside of a very, very long depression. Now, after a while of being depressed, the grief, the all around sadness caused her to have a heart attack, killing her. Now, the man then walked away. Tears then start to stream down Izuku's face as he realizes his mom is dead. He falls on his knees. As these tears go down his face, he looks back up instead of anger. His black, his very brown eyes then look empty. But inside of this emptiness, you could recognize one thing that every single human knows, one thing that every single human has felt. Anger, no. Fury, no. Rage, the need for revenge. He then clenches his fists, and then he says, "It's their fault." He then screams, "It's their fault." while crying, and he punches the ground. As he punches the ground, a, a giant hole thing forms inside of it, inside the shape of his fist. He looks back up inside of anger, and he says, I vow on my life, I will kill every single last one of them. I will become the darkness. No, I will become more than just a dark knight. I will go further. I will be the I will be the fear in the night. The darkness itself. What people fear the most. I will become the Red Hood. Now, as he says this, we then skip to him building the suit. Now, the suit that you see right here without the jacket is his normal suit. He has on a red mask. He then says, Stain, Kirigiri, and Shigaraki, I'm coming for you. And when I find you, I'll make you pay dearly. Punching the mirror he's looking into. That's where I'm gonna leave it off, you guys. If you guys enjoyed, then subscribe, please. This was a sadder one, I guess. I mean, I didn't really feel sad at all, but you know, emotions aren't really my thing. So, without a further ado, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Before I end off this video, I'm gonna need you guys to subscribe to the new Kaito Kashi and Angel X Demon. I would appreciate it. Also, the links will be in the description. And as I was saying earlier, bye now and have a good day.